Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Udoka rips off Rockets after 15th straight loss versus Warriors. It looked as though the stars were aligning for the Houston Rockets coming off a frustrating loss against the Sacramento Kings on Thursday night. They faced a Golden State Warriors team that was without two of its best players in Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, favoring the Rockets heavily, but in classic trap game fashion the Rockets slipped on a banana peel en route to a disappointing 99-93 loss, their 15th in a row against the Dubs. It's far from panic time for a Rockets team that remains tied for second place in the Western Conference standings with a 15-8 record. Nevertheless, head coach Ime Udoka is clearly not pleased with what he's seeing from his team, calling them out for their efforts and poor execution in an overall poor night against the Warriors. All the things we've done to get a decent record have gone out of the window these last couple of games. A few guys really didn't look like they showed up till after halftime. One of our softest games since I've been here for sure, Udoka said in his post-game presser via the official Clutch Points account on X, formerly Twitter. All the things we've done to get a decent record have gone out of the window these last couple of games. A few guys really didn't look like they showed up till after halftime. One of our softest games since I've been here for sure. Ime Udoka ripped his Rockets after losing. The Rockets' offenses of late has been brutal to watch. Their defense kept them competitive against the Kings and the Warriors, but the game of basketball is won by the team that scores more points, and Houston simply has found it difficult to put the ball through the basket. In recent games against the Warriors, they shot 37.6% from the field as a team and only 26.3% from beyond the arc, and it's hard to win ball games if the team shoots that poorly. As a collective, the Rockets will look to bounce back when they take on the Los Angeles Clippers on Sunday, December 8th. Curve faith to be tested by obvious lineup change amid absence of star Warriors duo. The Golden State Warriors will look to win their 15th straight game against the Houston Rockets at Chase Center on Thursday night, but more importantly they'll be out to break an increasingly concerning 5-game losing streak. As if the challenge wasn't already difficult enough against the second-ranked team in the Western Conference, it's now going to be a far harder task after their Warriors confirmed that star duo Stephen Curry and Draymond Green will miss Thursday's game. Green missed Tuesday's loss to the Denver Nuggets at Ball Arena due to a calf issue, while Curry will be out with an ongoing knee concern after missing last week's game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's not an ideal time for Golden State to be without both parts of the story duo for the first time this season, with a third starter Andrew Wiggins also questionable as the 2022 All-Star deals with an ankle concern. Curry and Green's absence will likely leave a young and inexperienced starting lineup with 22-year-old Jonathan Kuminga and 21-year-old Brandon Mee having already started on Tuesday. The latter is expected to slide over into Curry's vacant role, meaning there is once again a starting spot up for grabs. Without Curry, the Warriors will assuredly need more shooting on the floor, likely eliminating Gary Payton too from that discussion. That leaves 3 potential options: Buddy Hield, Moses Moody and Lindy Waters. 3 Hield is the leading scorer and three-point shooter of that trio, but the 31-year-old's form has declined in recent weeks, not to mention he started only 1 game this season. Waters started 7 straight games immediately following to Anthony Melton's season-ending knee injury, yet failed to impress and was left out of the rotation completely against the Nuggets. Based on the most recent form, Moody is the most obvious choice after catching fire in the second half on Tuesday. The fourth-year wing had 13 points in an 8-minute period to give Golden State momentum, only for them to be overrun in the final 6 minutes. Gay's faith is set to be tested by this predicament. Does he really want to start 3 players 22 or under, particularly when the Warriors have placed themselves in such a hole over recent games? The head coach's treatment of Moody has been a notable storyline throughout the past few years, with Thursday's game another key marker on where KC's the former 14th overall pick in the pecking order ranking the best potential offer for Kyle Kuzma, including Lakers, Warriors and Heat. Kyle Kuzma and the Wizards are in a mess right now, no sugar-coating it. Kuzma is putting up 15.8 points, 5.6 rebounds and 1.9 assists per game this season, but those numbers feel like empty calories on a team with a brutal 2-17 record. The Wizards are riding a 15-game losing streak, and let's be real, nobody's expecting them to improve. Kuzma's efficiency is rough too. 42% shooting from the field is not what you want from a guy who was supposed to be a primary scoring option. The Wizards gambled on him as a cornerstone when they gave him that big contract, but it's clear this whole experiment is falling apart. Here's the upside though: Kuzma's stock might be low enough that contenders like the Lakers, Warriors or Heat could snag him on the cheap for teams that need some size, a bit of scoring punch, or just another body to throw into a playoff rotation. Kuzma could be a sneaky good pickup. With that said, let's dive into what realistic trade offers could come the Wizards' way for their wing. The Warriors' season has been all over the place. They're sitting at 12-8, but they've dropped their last 5 games. The vibes are off right now and their roster is screaming for some fresh energy. Andrew Wiggins, who was once a crucial part of their championship run, hasn't looked like himself last season and came into 2024-25 as a big trade candidate. He's averaging 17.2 points, 4.3 rebounds and 2.5 assists on 45.9% shooting. Not exactly there. Production you want from someone, pal. Ling in $26.22 million a year. Enter Kyle Kuzma, who's having a pretty mediocre season himself but might just be the shake-up the Warriors need. Kuzma is averaging 15.8 points, 5.6 rebounds and 1.9 assists while shooting 42% from the field. He's not lighting it up, but his skill set fits better with what Golden State wants to do. Kuzma is versatile, can defend multiple positions and adds a scoring punch that doesn't require the ball in his hands all the time. Plus he's on a declining contract, $123.5 million this year, so he's cheaper than Wiggins. From the Wizards' side, this deal makes a lot of sense too. Washington is straight up tanking their 2-17 on a 15-game losing streak, and the roster feels like a black hole for basketball. Kuzma isn't doing much to help them win, and flipping him for a future first-round pick and a second-rounder is exactly what a rebuilding team should be doing. As for Wiggins, he's not a long-term solution in Washington, but his contract aligns with their tank timeline. The Wizards also get a play who at least on paper brings similar production to Kuzma while adding that 2027 first pick, which could be gold for a team that's clearly playing the long game and could be traded next year for more assets. The Warriors, on the other hand, could really benefit from Kuzma's presence. He slides into their system perfectly as a secondary or even tertiary scorer behind Buddy Hield, which adds another good scorer to an incredibly deep team. He's also a better fit in their small ball lineups than Wiggins, who's looked to step slow on both ends of the court this season. For Kuzma, moving from the basketball purgatory that is the Wizards to a team with championship aspirations might be just what he needs to find his groove again. This trade might not fix everything for either team, but it's one of those rare scenarios where both sides walk away happy. The Wizards get valuable assets for the future, and the Warriors get a piece that could help them turn their season around. It's a win-win, even if it's not flashy. Sometimes that's all you need. And you fan, what do you think of the situation of Kuzma? Leave your opinion in the comments.